Okay, Willkommen to episode 4 of the London Weightlifting Podcast, and today we have El Professor, Ciaran Barnes, one of our coaches. Very exciting. So to kick things off, Ciaran, would you say that maths was discovered or invented?
Oh, okay. That is a very good one.
I thought you'd like that.
No. That's a good starting point. Should we just spend the entire podcast on this? Because I could actually talk for that length of time on this one. This one gives a lot of people a bit of debate. So I am more on the side of invented. If I had to pick one and just go for an answer, but I'll explain the reasoning. So I think most people have this impression that it's something that's discovered. That's often how it's presented in school. And that's how I certainly believed when I was in school. And then the more I studied, by the time I went to do my undergraduate, I remember one of my lecturers saying something along the lines of, if you believe mathematics is discovered, that's kind of akin to believing in Santa Claus, really.
Okay.
You know, and that had quite a bit of an influence on me.
Very festive.
And then I think he might have ruined Christmas a little bit, but you know, it's okay. You got to find out these things somehow. But yeah, and I think what it really comes from is people look at what they see in nature.
Yeah.
They make these observations, but like all the notation and all the stuff that we do, that's all invented at the end of the day. So that's why it helps us understand nature better, is because we look at nature for inspiration, we invent it ourselves, then it's like, oh, this is kind of helpful for things in nature. But
yeah. The way I think of it is actually, I think, my first ever philosophy lesson.
Yeah.
The teacher, Mr. Williams, held up 2 pens and he said, "What's this?"
Okay.
And people would say 2 pens.
Yeah.
And he'd say no. And we'd go again.
Yeah.
And be like, eventually it came down to a pen and a pen. And he would say, yeah, maths, but the number, that's the framework that we've invented to describe these pens. And I always thought that was very interesting. And I thought it would tickle your fancy.
No. It's and actually sort of building on that about the pens, I remember it was in a book I read, and something very interesting, how important language is for our ability to understand mathematics. So they found in certain communities where they didn't have the language to count past 3, if you asked them, or I don't know if it was 3, it was some number or whatever, if you asked them to replicate a number of knocks on a door or something, if you did 1, 2, 3, which was in the confines of their language, they would replicate the exact number. But if you did something like 5 or 7, which was beyond it, they then started just doing a random number. It was just to them, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Just in some of these quite isolated communities in some places, which was very interesting.
I wonder how much language has an impact on our emotions as well. Because I know, for example, English has loads of different... we have a huge array of words to describe different things. Whereas talking to Louise Sondergaard, for example, Danish, much more limited in the vocabulary. I wonder whether having a more limited vocabulary might make you live in a more restricted way in terms of your emotions. If you were to wake up tomorrow and you didn't know the word for exciting or any synonyms, would you feel less excited or not?
Yeah, does it change the actual feeling, or is the feeling there?
Yeah.
That's my first instinct is I think it's there. The feeling's still there. You just can't articulate it.
Well, presumably there was a feeling, and there was a caveman, and he was like,
"There's this thing." What is this?
And then Jeff was like, "That's excitement."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, my mistake."
Yeah. Do you speak any other languages?
I did speak decent German until I was around 16, and then it kind of dropped off. So I did GCSE French, German.
Sure. The classic.
My sister was born in Germany, actually. My family used to live there. I was pretty good, and then it's dropped off. I would still be... I could go to a restaurant and order some schnitzel, you know?
Okay.
What about
you? Got the basics. No, I tried to learn Russian at one point. And so I can say about 10 phrases, very impressive. And I can say them with absolute confidence.
Which is your favourite?
So my favourite one is "Я говорю по-русски." which is I speak Russian.
Nice.
So I'll say that, and then someone will, respond in Russian, really excited to find another speaker, and then I'll say "Я не понимаю," which is I do not understand.
I don't think Russians get excited, for example, coming back to our previous
No. It's a very different culture.
Yeah.
I actually went out there many years ago.
No smiling.
Yeah. It really throws you because we smile so much in the West. You go there and people, you think they're being really rude to you, but once you get used to it, they can be really friendly and be really nice. They'll just have a conversation without smiling at all. It'll just be deadpan.
Yeah.
Be like, how's your day?
Are there any differences between the Irish and the British in that sense, do you think? Any like weird cultural quirks?
I always say, if we look in the grand scheme of the world, we're pretty similar cultures. But I think if we go into sort of some of the minor details, I think definitely we're just a little bit more lighthearted back home. I'd say I'm not a very good representation of this, but in general, people back home, I think, a bit more relaxed. Don't take things quite as seriously.
I imagine that's very different. London, because London compared to the north of England, for example,
yes,
is generally considered to be more serious.
If you imagine it on a spectrum, and you've got like London as this one extreme on this end, and then you've maybe got like the south, then maybe the north of England, people start getting there's a bit more of like a friendlier vibe. I think, as you go further north, and then you've got like Ireland on the other end of that spectrum. It's just kind of that same pattern.
I think most English people are basically Celtic people anyway. It's quite rare, I would say.
In terms of their ancestry.
Yeah. Well, for example, I'm like a quarter English.
Yeah.
And then the rest like a mix between Scottish, Welsh, Irish. I think that's actually quite common. They're so mixed up.
So 3/4 of you is decent.
Yes, exactly. I haven't found that quarter yet, but...
Keep trying.
Do you think the universe was created by someone or something?
Ooh, that's... So, I'm not sure. This is a very an interesting one. A lot of people don't know this. I used to be a very religious person. So I was
Irish Catholic or
Protestant.
Oh no, of course I did know that. Yeah, of course.
So I was very religious for the first 14 years of my life. I was a real diehard Christian, and that was a big part of my life, and that's very much shaped my views to this day and how I look at the world. My sense of morality comes from that quite a lot. And then I kind of sort of thought, am I completely certain of this? No. And then I became an atheist. And then after years of being like that, I was just like, actually, I'm not sure. One thing studying mathematics will teach you is that there are things in this world beyond your comprehension.
I was quite similar to... I think my dad actually grew up Catholic, or was raised to be Catholic. Okay. He was an altar boy and that kind of thing. But then became quite atheist after that. So I was definitely raised to not be religious at all. And then you could almost go through like a teenage phase where I was like, oh, this could be kind of interesting to be a religious person. That's your
teenage rebellion. Yeah. You do the opposite of whatever your parents do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was that and some other stuff. But and then that settled into, I guess, atheism when I was a little bit older. But then now I think probably we're just part of some type of weird experiment and we're just in a Petri dish or something.
Nice.
I'd say that's
kind of Matrix vibes.
Yeah, but I think not a computer simulation. Yeah, I think like actual...
little experiment.
Like a physical experiment, on a Petri dish. I'd say that seems more likely to me than the Big Bang and that kind of thing.
I think in either case, I think probably what we'd probably agree on is pretty much how insignificant sort of some of our individual lives are in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, some other people's lives, not my own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, those were my kind of more macro topics.
Yeah. That's some deep stuff to start with.
Yeah.
Just go straight in with the,
next
hard
one.
questions.
Now we've got the hard ones out the way.
Okay.
Had our competition yesterday.
Yeah.
What was your highlight of the day?
Oh, I had a feeling this question would come up, and genuinely, I'm honestly torn between three possible moments, and I actually can't separate them.
I'll accept 3.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a sufficiently small list. So in order, chronological order, Philippa's lifting was incredible. Comp PBs, what did she do?
6 for 6.
45, 6 for 6, 45, 57, I think it was. Or was it 40? No, it was 45, 57, which was 5 and 7 kilos comp PBs on both after a 12 or a 13-week block, which is absolutely incredible. And that was an equal just training clean and jerk PB as well, and 1 or 2 kilos under her snatch. So that was awesome. And very good lifting. And it's just really nice to see how much more confident she is as well with competing. So that was really awesome. Number 2 is then Charlie. He did incredibly well as well. Also comp PBs and everything. He did give me an absolute heart attack when he had a perfect opening snatch of 55 and then decided to drop out without waiting for the down signal. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me, man. What are you doing?
He dropped that before he'd stood it all the way up.
Yes, I know. But the best of it was so easy. And then I was just like, okay, I was like, do we go up? Do we go up? I was like it was so easy. Yes, let's go up. But you still don't like it because you feel like you've wasted a lift. Yeah. And I was like, okay, no, it was pretty easy. Let's go up. So,
have you ever done something like that?
No, I would never give anyone a heart attack when I lift. No, not at all.
I haven't done that. Have you ever gone 6 for 6?
Yes, actually.
I haven't.
I have done 6 for 6. British 2023. My first ever British. That was the one. You were there actually for that one, I think. Did you help me out in 2023 and 2024?
Oh yes, it probably was actually me that got you that.
There you go.
I ruined your third highlight.
You ruined my third highlight.
You said you had 3.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I was about to screw someone over.
No, don't worry. I'll circle back to it. It was Ollie's 150 clean and jerk.
Oh yeah.
Because he's such a top bloke. He works so hard, and like I've learned so much even just from chatting to him in the gym. And it's always like such a nerve-wracking moment when you're coaching someone that you want to do well. So I was really happy that he got that, and I think he really deserves it. Top bloke.
Oh yeah, he works so hard.
Yeah,
I've been weightlifting for a very long time. Also very self-deprecating, as you are supposed to be.
Yes.
Especially as a British man.
Yeah.
But then came out with an absolute belter.
Yeah.
Wait, did he go 5 for 6?
What did he do?
He got
all. Yeah, he missed one snatch.
Yeah.
He did 110, missed 115, hit 115, 140, 145, 150, which was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a very good day. Yeah. I did have to take someone to hospital.
Yes, I heard about this in the group chat afterwards. What actually happened?
They hit themselves in the foot with an empty bar.
Yeah.
Quite badly.
In the warm up.
Broke their foot. I have to say, of all
did they drop the bar on themselves?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was self-inflicted.
Fine.
Yeah, it was the first time I've had to do something like that. But obviously, if something was going to be smashed to pieces, I'd vote foot.
Yeah.
Foot or hand.
Yeah.
So everything apart from that was really good.
Yeah, I think it ran pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Timings were pretty good as well.
Yeah, probably go again in late September, something like that. We still don't know the qualification periods for English champs, as far as I'm aware, because we usually like to sync up with the last weekend of qualification period, so people have something big to go after.
Cool.
I keep thinking that every next big comp, I'll be like, I'll be able to come out of retirement and try and qualify for English championships or British championships, but then I just can't lift anything still. But that's okay. Aliens.
Okay.
Do aliens exist?
Do aliens exist? It depends on what we define. How would you... Well, okay, I'm going to throw the question back at how do you define an alien?
Interesting.
Because this changes the answer, I think.
Okay, I'm interested in a sentient being.
Okay, so something with some sort of consciousness.
Yeah,
of some
exactly.
Sort.
Yeah, I'm not super interested in like a amoeba style thing. Yeah.
Because if you were going to go for just something that's just like, if your definition was more general, it's like life in any capacity, I think that's quite possible. If there are planets out there where there's the right conditions, could be possible. Something with sentience, well, I will remain open-minded, but I don't think I have any faith in that unless I see some evidence.
Well, if they're listening right now,
Yeah.
I just want them to know that this podcast is in support
Yeah.
of any alien life forms that do choose to visit.
Okay.
I'll do whatever you want. Just let me know. Have you heard about this big
Maybe
rock?
you'll be spared. I don't think I'm going to be, for my opinion, though.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It
was nice knowing you.
Yeah. Have you heard about this big rock that's hurtling towards Earth that they think maybe could be alien related?
Is this in the news recently or something?
I don't know if it's like the mainstream news, but the type of news that I follow.
Right. I just don't really read like any news at all.
Do you read is there like a maths news?
Even that, no. Like, I mean, there, you could get newsletters and on various things.
Would it be in binary, like Morse code type stuff, or?
Binary's a bit of a poor choice, really. Hexadecimal's a lot more sexy.
Ooh, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Well, if binary's 2 digits, right? There's 2 symbols used to represent everything, 0 and 1. And decimal is what we're used to with 10 digits. Hexadecimal's where there's 16 digits.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty funky stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I've learned something.
There you go. It's an educational podcast, guys.
Yes.
I'll drop plenty more mathematics here.
I don't know if that's
don't
the
worry.
actual category that we put it into, but
Yeah,
for this episode,
maybe we should. Yeah. Just like hashtag mathematics.
Yeah. So, no, Nino has been just rolling around everywhere during this episode and causing havoc. He's staying here now.
Just too excited,
Yeah.
Once in the action.
How did you get into weightlifting, Ciaran?
I guess we've got time to do the full story then today.
Oh yeah.
I usually try to every time I get asked this, I'm always like, no one actually wants to hear the full story.
No,
they want a 30 seconds. They want like a 30-second quick answer. So, all right, let's backtrack. 2012.
Yep.
2011. Okay. Actually, so I get into athletics, track and field. School sports day. Turns out I can run kind of quick. That was kind of cool. My dad was a sprinter as well. So I thought that was quite cool to do the same thing that he did. So I like that. And then I became absolutely obsessed with athletics. Like, maybe even equally as obsessed as I am with weightlifting, but more intense about it. Like, very, very neurotic about it. And so I did that for 8 years. And then I progressed up the sprint distances, up into the 400 meters and then into 400 hurdles. Natural progression. And when I was 16, when would that have been? 20? It was about 2015, 2016-ish. Or maybe I was a bit older then. But at that sort of time, we started doing like an S&C session once a week. So that's when I did my first ever back squat. And then we did hang power cleans. Now we were track athletes, so we had
straps.
No, we didn't actually use straps. I never used hook grip. I didn't know what a hook grip was. And I remember after doing that for a few weeks, I tried to do power cleans from the floor, and I was just absolutely awful. Like, I just couldn't do it. I think my coach at the time was just like, you know what, it's just not worth it, Ciaran, just do them from the hang. And it was really just like, you just threw it up and just got it there however you could. So that was my first ever exposure to the Olympic lifts, but I didn't think anything of it. I honestly didn't think they were that cool, to be honest, because I think I got up to like a triple at 80 kilos, and that was considered like big boy weights within our little athletics community. Like the throwers would do more, but I was like, they're like twice the size of me, I don't care.
It's annoying how your perception of what good is in weightlifting changes so much.
Yes.
I remember when I first started in a CrossFit class, I was like, if I can snatch 80 kilos,
you'd be so happy.
I am like the baddest motherfucker in the world. And then you get closer to it, and then you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
You like follow someone on Instagram, and it's like 12-year-old girl snatches 130 no hook or something. Fuck.
Yeah, and you're just like, why not I even bother trying?
Yeah, exactly. Sport? My life was so much better before I knew about these people.
Yeah. So that was my first ever exposure to the Olympic lifts. And then after 8 years of athletics, I was really burnt out from it. So I was like, you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's do a decathlon.
Okay.
Right, so multi-sport. So I was a hurdler. I was pretty versatile. It's easy to move up in distances if you've got a decent bit of aerobic fitness. And I could do the hurdles. Jumps came quite naturally to me. And it was just like throwing. And then I was like, okay, I need a pole vault coach because that's going to be tough. But those plans got completely derailed because doing the sprint hurdles, I actually got an ankle injury. I went over my ankle and completely stuffed it. And then I had chronic ankle problems for like 2 years after that. That was fun. But I started doing more lifting during that time because I was like, okay, I need a bench if I want to be if I want to throw decent.
Just want to be a man,
Yeah, exactly. And so then I started doing more squats. I started benching. There was no Olympic lifting. It was just general strength work. I was doing like strong lifts, 5x5 stuff, and that was really the beginning of it. And then with this ankle injury, I couldn't do the track work, but I was able to squat within a few weeks quite easily, actually. So, and then I just kept building the weights up and up and up, and I just really, really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed getting strong. Still no interest in Olympic lifting. Then a year later, I was like, I mucked around with the occasional power clean, and I was like, I kind of want to learn how to do a snatch and a jerk. Because if I can do a power clean, I can do a clean, right? You just squat all the way down, right? It's pretty simple. That was my thinking at the time. No coach, of course. So I did 2 1-hour sessions at the University of Bath.
Nice.
Is
that where you did your degree?
Yeah, that's my undergrad.
Yeah.
Before I moved to London.
Very good sports facilities.
Yeah. The high performance gym was amazing. And so many people were so intimidated to go there. If you were just like someone who wanted to go and get fit, so many people were turned off by it because everyone there was like an athlete of some capacity. I think I could back squat 140 at the time, and I was like one of the weakest guys there, in that gym. Yeah, that was just sort of the standard. So it was very, very sporty uni.
I remember at university I did 1 leg session.
Yeah.
And I remember it quite well for some reason. And I think I squatted 80 kilos, and I remember thinking how incredible I was.
Yeah.
Just compared to my 2 other friends. We only ever did upper body.
Okay.
Because I could do 80 kilos.
I want to ask, what was your bench at the time? If you were squatting 80 kilos.
I just did bodybuilding style stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I was at uni anyway, I mean, I wasn't really exercising very consistently. But when I would come back, it would be like 3 sets of 10, that kind of thing. But yeah, definitely wasn't very much. I wasn't in very good condition in any way throughout university. I didn't start lifting for any type of strength type stuff until I started doing CrossFit when I was probably 24 or something like that. So I think the first time I did a bench 1RM was actually within the last couple of years.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah. That's actually fair enough.
Yeah,
that's quite recent.
Yeah. So I have no idea. I reckon I would have been doing like 60, 70 for 10s, that kind of thing back in those uni days.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was getting quite close to your squat then.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was hoping would be the case.
They're supposed to be the same.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Optimum bench to squat ratio 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Forget push to pull ratios.
No, you're supposed to
bench to squat 1-to-1.
The arms are supposed to be the legs of the upper body.
Yeah. I like this. Yeah.
And then when did you kind of transition into
competing?
Yeah, and becoming a weightlifter, I suppose.
Okay, at this point, I've done 1 year of lifting. I did these 2 1-hour classes, and honestly, my biggest fear was of dropping a weight on my head. But I did these classes, learned, you could just throw it forwards. Imagine that, right? And then I was like, okay, I can teach myself the rest. That was my attitude. So I mostly did, again, more strength training for at least 2 more years, but I would maybe like power snatch and power clean once or twice a week, maybe at most. And then I just kept doing them, twice a week tops. And I think I got up to, before I ever competed, I snatched 100, clean and jerk 135 in pure gym. Nice. And then I remember looking up the British rankings, and I was like, wait, those numbers would put me like 25th in the UK. I was like, oh, that's not bad. I was like, maybe I should give this a go. So I turned up to my first ever comp in Telford. No coach, had no prior involvement in the sport, and I read the British weightlifting handbook, the rules handbook by myself, just from start to finish. just to make sure that, I wasn't going to do anything stupid. And I was terrified. So I knew about press outs. I knew you couldn't touch the bar with your foot. I knew about all that stuff. But I was just really worried that I might have missed something else. And that I was going to, like, those lifts that I was putting up in the gym just wouldn't count or something. And I didn't know everything, that's for sure. But I was pretty thorough in my research. So I just rocked up and I read the board by myself for my first ever time. Turned up. I went 6 for 6 at that comp, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I did 90, 95, 100s, 115, 125, took it for a walk and wobbled all over the place, and then said 135 to the judges, who just looked at me as if I was a madman. And then the 135 was better than the 125, actually. I was just so inconsistent with my technique at that point because it was so early days for me.
You only got a coach really recently, right? Is Mr. Big Friday Benedict your first proper coach?
He was my first coach. Yeah. So I worked with him leading up to the British. And right now I'm actually doing my own stuff again. Just because I just really like programming for myself.
Yeah.
But actually that worked really well. The programming was very effective. Like, he got me up to a 130 snatch with a pull before it in like 5 weeks.
I remember seeing that, yeah.
Got a couple of sets of 5 at 200 in the back squat, which was pretty decent. So that worked really nicely. It was just really unfortunate that I just had so much going on with my life at that time. I missed loads of training sessions.
Yeah.
Just work-related stuff was just a right pain. And I missed a load of sessions. Like, it probably could have been even better.
I do find, particularly if you're a coach, but I kind of advise this to when I was doing one-to-one coaching back in the day. I don't really do any of that anymore. But I think it is good to do periods of unstructured or self-coached training. Yeah. Because you can just get really restrictive if you're constantly following a program. I think sometimes you just need to have some time to either just come into the gym and do whatever you want, or program for yourself.
100%
and then come back to structure. Particularly if you're someone like yourself who does, like, you're going to be doing big competitions quite regularly throughout the year, then you can be quite structured towards those, and then just fuck around the rest of the time.
100%.
Not that you would ever fuck around in anything.
No, absolutely not. Definitely.
I'm sure
not.
it's extremely structured, just coming from yourself.
Well, the running joke, when I started after the British, I was completely burnt out. I was like, okay, it's like I need a fun week. I need to just chill, need no structure. And so, like, the first 2 days, I just turned up and did whatever I wanted. And I was like, guys, I'm on a break from weightlifting. And of course, we'll do some snatch and clean and jerk. So, that's my break. I was like, it's a psychological break, trust me. And then, like, within a few days, I was just like, you know what I'm going to do? Right, I'm going to write down a checklist of, like, all the components of training I need to get done in the week. I'm not going to choose which day of the week I'm going to do them, but I'm going to make sure I hit some snatches, some clean and jerks, some back squats, some bench, some all sorts of different things. I was like, I'll tick them off. This is my break. And then other people were taking the mick out of me, and they're like, that sounds like structured training. And I'm like, no. I get to choose which days I do this on. This is unstructured.
Semi-structured.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What would your most fun session be? If you come into the gym, you've got no injuries, you're going to do some form of weightlifting, what's the session?
I'm very partial to high volume stuff. Some triples. Triples are nice. I've been known to do higher, but triples is just like a nice middle ground. Honestly, one of my favorite ones is just a power clean plus split jerk.
Yep.
Like, that is just
nice.
beautiful. I love power clean so much more than a full clean. Full clean is disgusting. It's like, I happen to be good at it, but I hate it. Like, it's actually disgusting. It's my best lift of the 3, but it's just painful and miserable.
Yeah.
Power clean is actually beautiful. You feel fast. You feel strong. And then you get to throw it overhead afterwards. That's quite nice.
Power clean split jerk is nice.
Yeah. That's definitely up there. That would probably be the main one. Maybe some snatches, maybe power snatches, depending on feel, depending on the mood.
Yeah. You squatting?
Yeah, squatting, I have mixed feelings about squatting. I've done so much of it that some of that love for it has died a little bit. Actually, 1RM deadlift. That's what we'll go for.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's big.
I almost never deadlift, maybe once or twice a year.
Only ever 1 RM.
Yeah, pretty much. Just I'll just be like, hey, let's just pull this single and see what we can do, and I always attempt a new PB, of course.
Yeah, yeah, that's sensible.
Yeah.
I think mine would be hang power snatch.
Nice.
Probably singles.
Okay.
And then I would either jerk from blocks or power clean and jerk. Mm-hmm. I'm the same. I would only full clean if I absolutely would have to. Yeah. And then I would back squat, and it would be something like 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Nice.
Okay, interesting.
I like prescribed stuff around the 10, 8 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like higher reps in the back squat.
Fair.
Sure. Good. And you just crash into the bottom, no control, tightest knee sleeves you can get, tightest belt. That's the way.
Just slug it out. Yeah. No, I'm very much a 5x5 man. I would love to know what percentage of my strength work has just been 5x5. Like, of all the sessions I've done in my entire life, how many of them have just been just 5x5? I reckon it's like at least a third. Maybe even 2/3.
Notes for that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've got all the data everywhere in my various journals. Yeah. I have every single session I've ever done since April 2012 written down.
Fuck.
Either in a spreadsheet or in pen and paper. I've got a collection of little
I was going to say, well, you'll be able to easily upload the handwritten stuff now to a GPT or something.
Yeah.
Closing question of the day for you, Ciaran. Okay. Favorite weightlifter of all time? And you can't say me.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, fine. That's just made it a whole lot harder now. I
thought so.
You know. I've got one in mind. I want to go through a few others in case I'm thinking.
What's the process? What's the criteria going through your mind right now?
What I actually care more about. So it's a weighted average of various different attributes. Obviously, you know they have to be pretty decent for one, but that's not the only factor at all. Mostly, I like their attitude and sort of general demeanor. So there's two that are coming to mind. Yeah. And I'll maybe see if I can narrow it down. Clarence Kennedy has got to be up there. So he gets bonus points for being Irish. Yep. He's obviously incredibly good at the lifts, but I mostly just respect his level-headedness and his attitude to training.
He's a remarkably calm person.
Yes. And he's very intelligent, and so he just cuts through all the rubbish, and he's not afraid to tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear about weightlifting. He's sort of like, yeah, you kind of just probably suck at this sport, and you should probably just work harder. There's a lot of what he says is similar to that in some slightly more nuanced way.
No, I would say he applies Occam's razor to all the time. Like I think he posted something the other day around 2-a-day training.
Yes, he did.
It's like the biggest thing you get from this is that you just get more exposure to the lift, so you get more technical practice. Yeah. Whereas I think a lot, especially these days in Instagram culture, it's like you need to do single arm reverse grip rows with a gag in your mouth. Then it will activate this muscle, which is going to help your snatch and that kind of thing.
And don't forget to train your fascia.
Exactly.
That's really important.
That kind of
thing. So he just cuts through it, and like my training philosophy is heavily influenced by his. I think I've learned a lot from the content he puts out. Yeah. Then I'd probably put like I got to give Chris Speed a shout, just for being a top bloke. Okay. I think I mentioned to you last year at the British. He was very, very good. Just for being a top guy. And what was that? I nearly passed out on my opening clean and jerk at 160. And then he was like, Ciaran, I'm only going 161, so go 162 if you need that extra time. And I thought that was, at the British champs, like most people have a stick up their backside, and they're so intense, and they're trying to screw everyone over, and he was like, no, just, if you need the extra time, go 162.
So Chris on there for sportsmanship.
For sportsmanship, absolutely. Top bloke. He's also a pretty sick lifter, to say the least. So I'd put him up there. But if I'm going for probably an overall metric, I'd probably let's go Clarence. He's a pretty cool guy.
Hopefully he comes down to the gym again soon. It's always very cool to have him down.
I know he's been there a few times, and I've missed him every time. I would love to say hi.
I'm always under instruction to not tell people when he's coming.
Okay.
I'll slither it to you if we get the green light again.
Oh, fair enough.
Sweet.
Fair enough.
Well, thank you very much, Ciaran.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. We went for some slightly more diverse questions today. That's definitely where this podcast is going, I would say. That's just the beginning. So if you didn't like that, never listen again.
Fair enough. Good advice.
All right.